This is how I made the Toy Bonnie cosplay. I was talking about all the struggles I did with the Toy Bonnie cosplay, how I made it, what materials I used, and all of the planning behind it, such as maybe concept art and a lot of fun stuff. I will be talking about future projects in the future at the end of the video if I have time, so stay tuned for that, as I will be talking about future projects. Now let's get into the video. When I was making Toy Bonnie, I did a concept design of him, which is here. It talks about all of the materials that I used, such as foam, fabrics, plastic mesh, lights, specifically fairy lights, and EVA foam for the body. For the head, I used upholster foam, and for the body, I used EVA foam. That's all that's said on the concept art. Now I'm going to get into the main actual cosplay. With the first head, I used EVA foam for the first head as I didn't know that I could use upholster foam, and this was one of the problems I had at the start of the cosplay. I used the wrong materials for the head. So I bought upholster foam and I used that for the head. But whilst I was using materials, whilst I was waiting for materials for the head, I was making the body, and I'm going to show the body parts. I don't think I have an image of the arms, but I did make the legs. The legs, I made the hips and the body, and you can see the arms here as well. Then from there, I made the feet. I made the feet before the hands because the hands would be quite fiddly, and after I made the feet, I went on to working on the hands, and the hands were quite tricky to make. But they get even more trickier when you're putting fabric and elastic bands on, and I'll mention that on the fabric part of the hands. Then I got a great start on the head. With the head, I got a piece of upholster foam, a big piece of it, and I measured it around my actual head to make sure it would fit. I did triangles on the top. Sadly, I didn't record any video footage, and I wish I did, but as you can see on the top of the head, there is this red line that goes across. From that red line, I did triangles on the top, and I made sure those triangle shapes were attached to the red line. And the bits of shape in between each triangle I cut out to make sure that all the triangles could fold in and be glued together, so that way I can have the dome shape that you see here. Then I drew on Toy Bonnie's face so I can get a good idea of what Toy Bonnie's going to look like. And then I move on to actually carving and making the face. I carved out the eyes, and the foam that was on the eyes, I turned it into the bases of Toy Bonnie's cheek. What I used for Toy Bonnie's snout was a car sponge and some foam. And then I'll move on to the rest of Toy Bonnie, which would be his jaw and his ears. After I did make Toy Bonnie's ears, I made his little nose on the top. Then I put fabric on Toy Bonnie's jaw and on his ears. Then after that, I put fabric on Toy Bonnie's snout and airbrushed his ears and his snout to give him more of that dirty look effect. Because my Toy Bonnie cosplay is a more broken version of Toy Bonnie, and I wanted to share a little bit of elements with my own little version of Toy Bonnie that I made. Then I finished the rest of the head by adding fabric onto the rest of the head. I did add whiskers onto his face, and then after that I airbrushed the rest of the head and added plastic mesh into the eyes to give that animatronic eye look because he has eyes. And I also added lights in his head so his eyes would glow as well. I'll show an image right here. Then I got to work on putting fabric on the hands and airbrushing the hands to have that dirty animatronic look to him. I didn't have a picture of the hands by themselves, but I do have a picture of the hands with the head, and you're going to see that a lot with the body part picture progress. They're all with the heads. So here's a picture of the hands. Then I got to work on putting fabric on the arms. On the arm pieces, I put a thin piece of fabric in between the elbow joint so that way it would give more of that toy animatronic look that I'm going for, and it made him look a lot more nicer. I also did some airbrushing on the hands, I mean the arms, so that way they look dirty like, as I've said numerous times, this is a more broken version of Toy Bonnie. And then I moved on to the legs. Also, I did forget to mention that I did make the feet as well and put fabric on the feet and airbrushed them. Then I finished both of the legs and then went on to the hips. And with the hips, I airbrushed the hips after I did the fabric stage. And then I made the tail. And then whilst I was making the tail, I also made the bow tie. So I'm going to insert an image of the hips with the tail on and with the bow tie completed. Then I finished the body and now it's time for photo shoot time. So these are all the photos I took of me dressed as Toy Bonnie. And isn't he really cute? I know he is adorable. Very creepy though. I don't have any images of me with his eyes glowing, but I do have a video of his eyes glowing, so I'm gonna put that video here. And that's this bit of the video ended. Now I'm gonna go and talk about plans for the future and other stuff like that. So for the ending part of the video, I'm gonna talk about a little bit about myself. I am a beginner at making cosplays. This is the second cosplay I've done. I would say Toy Bonnie is a lot better than my first cosplay, which is Shadow Freddy. Um, Toy Bonnie is an improvement from Shadow Freddy, but he isn't the bestest cosplay that I've made. I still have plans to make another one after him, which is down here, which is Funtime Foxy. I do plan to make a Funtime Foxy cosplay, so I've done concept art of one. Um, I just thought I would share a little bit of information about myself, how I'm new to this type of thing, how I'm trying to get and build the skills up for this. I really do like making cosplays. It's a really fun thing to learn. And I know somewhere down the line, if I keep on doing this, I'm going to get better and better the more I do it. And then soon my cosplays are going to look like they're out of the water. It's just now I'm a beginner at cosplay making, and this is all of the early stages. So I'm just developing the skills. And I've learned a lot from the skills. I look at tutorials as well. That's how I make them. I follow a lot of tutorials on how to make the heads and how to make the actual cosplays themselves. I don't go in blind, and I use all the advice I use in tutorials to make the actual cosplays, as tutorials really do help a lot. Um, with the Funtime Foxy cosplay, I hope he would be one of my bestest ones so far when I do make him. Funtime Foxy is my future cosplay to make. I don't plan on making Funtime Foxy immediately. I might order the supplies for him next weekend, which is the Saturday coming up. That's a maybe though, if I'm able to have the money for it. Um, but I do plan to make a Funtime Foxy cosplay, and hopefully Funtime Foxy will blow my other cosplays out of the water. I am really satisfied with how Toy Bonnie came out. I actually really like how Toy Bonnie came out. Toy Bonnie was really fun to make. I really enjoyed making him. There were a few stressful moments, as I mentioned in the actual main video, with this thing that I still have in my room. But Toy Bonnie was really fun to make. I really enjoyed making him, and I really enjoy making this type of content as well. I really love making cosplays, and I really love doing a lot of things. But it's really creative. I love doing like really big creative projects. With Toy Bonnie, I had to take a break from him because it did get quite overwhelming working on the same project over and over. So I did other creative projects while Sorry about that, my microphone dropped. I was getting a bit too confident with it, but yeah, this is just the ending of the video, and hopefully when I do another video like this, I see you again soon. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this type of content. It really does help me and it does boost my confidence in making more content like this for you all. And honestly, I do plan on getting to 300 subscribers in March. And with the amount of subscribers I've seen, we are nearly to 300, and I feel like I should do a 300 subscribers special. But in the meantime, I will be seeing you all later. Bye. Don't forget to always be smiling and don't forget to spread your kindness.